welcome back to the vlog. I'm just heading out of Girona now. I'm doing the same route as I did like 3 days ago when I finished up riding around the Banyoles lake. But that day the weather was awful. Today it's completely different. The sun's out, it's nice and warm. I'm looking forward to a good ride. It's quite hard to talk to the camera today because I'm doing some sprint interval sets, so I can only talk between sets of sprints. Sprint interval training for me is probably the hardest type of training. Just that attack, rest, attack, rest. The repetitiveness of that just doesn't come naturally to me, which is why recently you've seen that a lot of my training has been sprint training to try and improve my sprints, because particularly in the UK racing, sprinting is a big part of it, whether that be a crit, whether that be a hilly road race that comes to a breakaway, then you sprint at the end, and then obviously if you're racing a flat race it's going to come down to a bunch sprint, and you need to be able to sprint. There's not that many races that finish on like a big long steep climb, which for people like me is a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do about it? You just got to train on your weaknesses, and hopefully this season I will really improve my sprinting. Quick update on the power bar. Me and Jorja tested these out the other day, just sat in my room. We heard all your comments about how hard they are to eat, so me and Jorja decided to both test it, and we didn't really know what the fuss was about. At the time they tasted really nice and they were easy to eat, but I've just eaten the bar whilst riding, and yeah, I know what you're talking about. They are so hard to chew. It feels like I've just ripped my teeth out eating that bar. I love roads like this, sweeping turns through the trees. I knew when I did this route the other day, I did it in the wet and I love this route, so I knew once it would get dry, I was gonna like it even more, and I do. Oi, check out this review right in front of me. I wonder how far away that climb would be, because it doesn't actually look that far away, maybe like 10 miles or 16 kilometers. I kind of want to ride up it, but I kind of don't, because I know how cold it will be at the top. Been riding now for about just over 2 hours. I've made it to the Banyoles lake. Now the other day when I was here, I noticed there was a gravel road around part of it, and I decided not to go on it because it was just completely waterlogged, but today's dry, so why not? Back onto the tarmac, but that was pretty fun. There was probably more sand than gravel. It's always fun to mix up training. So I've decided to just stick on this cycle path and do another lap around the lake because the sun's out, gotta make the most of this. But back there was a cafe. It looks like it's closed down. It didn't look to be too much going on, but basically there's a cafe there, and the cafe is situated on a jetty which goes out onto the water. I've never actually been, I've only seen pictures, but it looks incredible. And now we're back on the gravel. That's 2 laps of Banyoles Lake completed. I've got one more set of intervals to do before I get back to Girona, so I'll see you back in the city. Girona. Awesome ride today. Despite having sprint intervals, it was probably the best ride I've done here yet. There's like an exponentially positive correlation between heat and sunshine in relation to how happy I am riding the bike. It's just a shame that the weather's not been like this for the past 2 or 3 weeks, however long I've been here. But what can you do? It's sunny now, so I'm going to make the most of the sunshine, go and grab a coffee at La Fabrica and sit outside. Really great ride today. You know it's been a good ride when you've done just over 3 hours. Your legs are absolutely ruined from a sprint session and you're still keen to go and train for like another hour. Just nipping out to buy some fruit. We've run out of fruit and I eat quite a lot of fruit. I really like eating fruit, but I've got nothing left, so I'm gonna head to the shop now and get some more. Finally found some good bananas. This is the 3rd shop that I went to. The 2 other shops, the bananas were just like this. Just completely green. I don't know whether I've just been looking in the wrong places, but it's so hard to find good bananas in Girona. The sun's just starting to go down now over there behind that building, so I'm making the most of this time to do some filming outside whilst it's still light. But I was talking today about how important it is to work on your weaknesses. So for me today I was working on sprinting. Recently in training I've been doing a lot of sprint training to try and improve my sprinting, because like I've said 100 times, that is my weakness. And the reason that I'm trying to improve my sprinting is because a lot of the races in the UK are won and lost on sprints. You know, they're decided on sprints, whether it be in a flat road race and it comes down to a bunch finish, or it's on a hilly circuit and you come to the finish with a breakaway of 5 people, then it's a sprint between you 5. So in the UK on the domestic scene you need to be able to sprint. But what I'm trying to finally get to with this conversation is you should never neglect your strengths. I'm a big believer of capitalizing on your strength. If you are a good climber, why not do a load of training on the climbs and then be a great climber? If you're a good sprinter, likewise, why not do a load of sprint training to make yourself a great sprinter? You've always got to capitalize on your strengths. And what I would also say is you want to be good at what you need to be good at. So if most of your races require you to sprint, you need to be good at sprinting. If you live in a hilly area and most of your races are on hilly courses, then you need to be good at climbing. Specificity is key, and you've always got to capitalize on your strengths. I don't really know how to conclude all of that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, yes, don't neglect your weaknesses. You've always got to work on your weaknesses, but then on the other hand, you've got to acknowledge your strengths, and it's so important to make the most of those strengths. But yeah, I hope you were able to take something from that. But that's going to be the end of the vlog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.